Hello everyone. I know it has been a while since I've had a new YouTube video, but I'm excited to be back. I've been super busy the last couple months, really since late last year, just with some other projects and things I'm working on, and didn't have as much time to devote to filming new content for YouTube. So I'm excited to have this video for you all today. Today's move is going to be reach scoop. It's going to be a variation of reach scoop. I'll show you the classic version that everyone loves and everyone knows, but I'm going to show you a variation from one of Teresa's other classes that really hits that rib to hip area. So if you are a shorter torso, meaning your rib to hip is kind of crunched together, you don't have a longer torso, if that's you and you tend to also store body fat in this area, this move is going to be amazing for you. It's going to lengthen out this area. And also, if you just tend to feel tension in this area, like right here, kind of from your rib to hip, maybe inside a little bit at the psoas iliacus, this move is for you. You can do it any time of the day, anywhere, anytime, no equipment, as usual. But I think you're gonna love it and you're gonna really get some new cues to use with it. And hopefully you will benefit from it because this is one of my favorite moves. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so even if you don't know what reach scoop is, we'll go over the basic version first, and then I'll show you the variation that I want to show you today because I just recently fell in love with it after doing one of Teresa's senior fit videos. So with this move, you start off with the weight on one leg. You're kind of at a diagonal with your foot, so it's not straight. You're kind of at a diagonal. You're at an angle with your foot. Your knee is tracking out towards the little toe. I like to lift my bottom toe of that foot of the standing leg. Standing leg has most of the weight. This leg should not have much weight on it at all. So you're thinking about your alignment, you're thinking that you're very tall, and then you're having one hand down here at the side body, one hand up right above in alignment with your head. And in both these hands, you have what we call the mitten hand position, which is where you pull your fingertips back while you stretch the thumb. This is a classic T-Tapp position that brings fluid, brings lymphatic fluid down to the hand and brings it back into circulation from the extremities, helps pull that fluid from the hand. So again, fingers are together, pulling back the fingertips and stretching the thumb. So both those hands have that hand position, okay? So you're lunging there, you reach down with the bottom arm, and then in this variation, you rely on a lean to the side to get you to stretch. So you start off here, you lean to the side. Again, you're lunging in that leg, not much weight in this leg. You're lunging to the side, you reach all the way. I want you to imagine like someone has a rope around your wrist and they're pulling it across the room. Inhale, then you flip your palm and then you push up, push up, push up like you're pushing away a weight. That's the basic version. Let's do it on the other side just so we're not imbalanced. So again, lunge with that foot. Again, with this leg, I like to think of it as slight turnout. So it's not straight, it's turned out, toe is pointed. So you're gonna be, again, lunging into the side, mitten hand position, hand down, hand up above the head. You're tilting to the side, and again, from the side, it should look like you're staying in alignment. You're not leaning back really far, leaning forward really far. You're kind of keeping between two panes of glass, as Teresa would say. So you're tall, inhale, and then your exhale, tilt, 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 tilt over. Reach down through the bottom arm as you reach up through the top arm. Then when you're at the peak of the stretch, you reach down, keeping the shoulder square. You push, push, push all the way down. And that's the stretch, the variation that's in senior fit. So instead of doing this lean to the side, it's a stretch straight up. And it's kind of hard to get the feel for it, but I'll try to give you a taste of what it is. So again, you start off with the exact same position. Weights in that leg, knee, little toe, diagonal with that foot, okay? This leg, you can think to kind of turn it out a little bit. You're thinking very tall with your torso. Again, no collapsing down. You want to be really tall. With the senior fit variation, instead of using the mitten hand, you use the bear claw. Bear claw is pull knuckles back, stretch the thumb. That's the bear claw position. So with this variation, you're reaching down first, and you start off by doing a lateral stretch, okay? So you start off here, one hand down, one hand up, and you inhale, and you think to stretch. It's a subtle stretch of the side body. Here's the fun part. This hand goes up above the head. This hand comes at the hip bone. And what you're thinking of creating is a diagonal stretch. So, you know, the fascia operates in a diagonal here from hip to shoulder. Hip and shoulder are connected on both sides. So, and with everything else for that matter. But you're basically thinking about creating this tensional pull from your hip all the way up to your armpit and through your arm. So what this will feel like when you got that position, hand here, reach up tall, you're going to be pressing on that hip. And then I want you to think like you're leaving your hip behind. You're lifting your rib cage off of your hip with this arm. This arm is pulling you up. You can even see that there. There's a difference in reaching up and being pulled up. So you're thinking of that pulling motion happening while you're pressing here to get the leverage. Leverage isometrics is what Teresa always said. So try it here. Hand here, hand here. Inhale, pressing down, anchoring into that hip. As you reach up, again, like someone's pulling your wrist up to the ceiling, you're keeping that lunge, you're keeping it up. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Tall, and then release it back down. That's a lot. When you hit it right, you'll feel it kind of in this side body, like we do with reach scoop. But I especially feel it in that iliacus psoas area that tends to get so crunchy and compressed. You'll also might feel it in your QL muscle in the back, because that's also kind of part of that group of muscles. So let's try it on the other side. So again, it's a diagonal. So instead of going over and creating it this way, you're going straight up. You're just reaching up to create that stretch, and you're using it with this leverage of pushing to stretch, which she repeats in so many of her videos. It's genius, it really works. It's a great way to get that leverage you need to stretch. So again, turning out this leg, pointing toe, knee is bent, you're tall with your torso, hand comes up with a bear claw up above the head. So we start off here. Remember, we do our little stretch, kind of like they call this a starfish stretch, which you're stretching there. Inhale and exhale. Now your hand comes to your hip, hand comes above that head. Remember what we do, it's a diagonal. Now it may feel differently on one side than the other because we have different imbalances. One side may be more tight, one side may be more compressed. So just go with what you feel. But hand here, so ready, inhale. I want you to press down into that hip and then pretend like you're leaving your hip behind. This other rib cage is lifting up, leaving that hip behind. Pressing, pressing up, stretch, 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 and then release back down. Whoo, yeah. Give you a good stretch. You can do that different times of the day, and especially traveling. If you're in the car or airplane, when you're done with that, when you're out of the car, the first thing you should do is do this stretch, because all this area gets so compressed, whether you're sitting at your desk or sitting in a car or airplane. It's amazing to include in there. So again, let's just do one more on this side. Let's do a little bit quicker so you can see what it's like a tempo. So again, leaning over into that leg, hand's gonna be pressing with kind of a thumbs up, but with that bear claw. And again, you're thinking that this hip is anchoring. You're anchoring here while the opposite rib is being lifted up, kind of like a crane. If you think about it, like a crane is lifting this arm up, you're kind of being pulled out of your body on that side. That's gonna get you to stretch. So let's bring the hand up. Let's just skip that first part and go right here. Inhale, reach, press, ready, press, and stretch. See that length? You're getting a ton of length right there in the side body. Reach it up, and then, whew, that'll get your heart rate up too. Let's do the other side. Hand here. Again, pressing up, you're anchoring your hand in that hip, while this other hand is the one that's being lifted. Practice that there. Just feel what that feels like. If your rib cage is really stiff, it can be hard for you. So press here and feel what it feels like to kind of lift your rib cage up off of your hips. Let's try it here. So hip is being pressed down. This rib cage is being lifted up by this arm. Ready? Press, still leaning into that leg. Press and lift, 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 lift it up. Diagonal stretch, reach, and then push it back. Woo, that's a lot. It really does kind of bring your heart rate up for being a stretch. Super great to add into your routine, so definitely try it a couple times per day. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear what you think about it, if you gave it a try, or if you've tried the variation from senior fit before, and what you think about it. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because I will be, again, posting more videos. I have one ready to go that I'll hopefully release in the next couple weeks. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all next time.